When it came to getting from Tokyo to Kyoto, there was only one way we wanted to do it, and that was the Shinkansen, Japan's famous bullet train. But first, food. One thing you'll quickly learn is that the Shinkansen ride isn't complete without an ekiben. These train station bento boxes come packed with everything from sushi and wagyu to fresh seafood, rice, and desserts. Since eating on local trains is generally frowned upon, enjoying an ekiben on the Shinkansen feels like part of the experience. With our bento boxes in hand, we boarded the Nozomi, the fastest Shinkansen service. It only stops at major stations, making it the quickest way to get from Tokyo to Kyoto. Japanese trains are incredibly punctual, so if your train leaves at a certain time, it's leaving at that time. The good news is there are frequent departures, so missing one isn't the end of the world. We booked our reserved seat about a month ahead and paid roughly $112 per person. I also discovered that my large suitcase fit perfectly in the overhead rack, so I didn't need to reserve an extra luggage space after all. Once we settled in, the ride felt surprisingly normal. Even though we were riding along at nearly 180 miles per hour, it barely felt like we were moving. The seats were comfortable, the legroom was great, and before we knew it, we were arriving in Kyoto. One thing to keep in mind, when your stop comes up, don't waste time. You only have about 4 minutes to get off before the train is gone again. And just like that, we traded Tokyo's neon lights and non-stop energy for Kyoto's quieter streets, historic temples, and a slower pace of life. If you search Kyoto online, chances are one of the first places you'll see is the Arashiyama bamboo forest. After seeing photos of it for years, I couldn't wait to experience it for myself. Walking beneath the towering bamboo was beautiful. The sunlight filtered through the stalks, the breeze gently rustled the leaves, and for a moment, it felt almost dreamlike. At least, that's the version you usually see online. When we arrived, the grove was packed. Most people seemed to be chasing the same thing, the perfect photo. I managed to get a few shots, but it took a lot more patience than I naturally have. And honestly, I found it a little underwhelming. Photos make it look endless, but the path itself is short. It's free, and I'm glad I saw it, but if I was planning this trip again, it probably wouldn't make my must-see list. Thankfully, one of the best things about Arashiyama is that everything is close together. Just a short journey away, we found ourselves at one of Kyoto's most iconic landmarks, Togetsukyo Bridge. Known as the Moon Crossing Bridge, it stretches across the Katsura River with forest-covered mountains rising behind it. The views feels timeless, and it's easy to see why this spot has been admired for centuries. After slowing down to take in the scenery, it was time to get the heart rate up. Just across the river sits the Arashiyama Monkey Park. Getting there requires a 20 to 30 minute uphill hike. It isn't particularly long, but by the time we reached the top, we were feeling it. Nate's already tired, and he just started. Portia, you tired? Yeah, this is a big bumper. I struggle. Eh? The bumper struggle, my girl. Thankfully, the views along the way made the climb a lot easier. Then we reached the summit, and suddenly, Kyoto stretched out below us, and monkeys were everywhere. Around 120 Japanese macaques roamed freely around the mountain. Some lounged in trees, others groomed each other, and a few casually strolled past visitors like they owned the place. Which, to be fair, they kind of do. The rules are simple. Don't touch them, don't stare directly at them, and don't show food outside the feeding area. The feeding hut is where things get interesting. Normally animals are behind the cage and humans stand outside. Here, it's the exact opposite. Monkeys stay outside while visitors step inside the fenced shelter. For about 100 yen, you can buy apples, bananas, or peanuts and feed them through the mesh wire. Between the incredible views overlooking Kyoto and the chance to see these animals roaming freely on their own mountain, this ended up being one of my favorite experiences in the city. And it got me thinking, The place I'd been most excited to see so far had been bamboo forest, yet the experience I enjoyed the most was one I knew very little about before arriving. As the trip continued, that became a recurring theme throughout Kyoto. After the hike back down, we explored the busy streets of Saga-Arashiyama. The area was buzzing with school groups, tour groups, and travelers from around the world. The streets were lined with cafes, sweet shops, ice cream stands, restaurants, and stores selling everything from souvenirs to traditional kimonos. It's the kind of place where wandering around is half the fun. Just behind the train station, we stopped by the kimono forest, an installation made up of hundreds of colorful pillars wrapped in traditional kimono fabrics. It's not a place where you'll spend hours at, but it's worth seeing if you're already in the area. After a little shopping, we headed to Kijirou for dinner. Known for its Wagyu beef, the restaurant had a peaceful atmosphere and felt like the perfect place to slow down after a busy day. I ordered the steak. Now, Wagyu is supposed to melt in your mouth. This one, however, gave my jaw a full workout. I swear I was still chewing it 3 days later. Okay, maybe not 3 days. While the steak was really good, the rest of the meal was excellent and showcased the attention to detail Kyoto is known for. The next stop turned out to be one of the biggest surprises of the trip, Otagi Nenbutsuji Temple. Kyoto is filled with temples, and after a while, they can start to blend. But this one felt completely different. The temple is home to 1,200 stone statues known as Rakan, disciples of Buddha who have reached enlightenment. What makes them special is that each one was carved by a different person, meaning no two looks alike. Some look happy, some look mischievous, others look thoughtful, serious, or even a little goofy. We found ourselves spending far more time here than expected, wandering from statue to statue and discovering new expression around every corner. Out of all the temples we visited in Kyoto, this one stood out the most, not because it was the biggest or the most famous, but because it felt the most human. Back in downtown Kyoto, later that evening, we stumbled across a group of guys rapping in the street. It was probably the loudest thing I saw during my entire time in Japan, which says a lot. After a little shopping, it was time for dinner at the Daruma Burger in Gion. And wow! So we had this burger joint that Nate had us walk through hell on Powder House to find. Walking down the street, it looked like a place where, bad things happen, like me love you long time and $5 sake girls come out at you. But the place looks cool right now. I'm looking to try out this burger and stuff my gut so we could continue exploring in the night. These burgers were incredible. Made with Japanese black Wagyu beef and served inside a traditional Michaya-style building, they easily ranked among the best burgers I've ever had.
Amazing.
How's it, Nate?
On point.
Here we go, mate. Look at her. Jeez, look at it. The flavors were amazing, the hospitality was fantastic, and the private dining room made the whole experience feel even more special. If I ever return to Kyoto, this will absolutely be one of my first stops. With our stomachs full, we ended the evening at the Yasaka Shrine. Tokyo dazzled us with giant LED screens and endless crowds. Kyoto, on the other hand, saved some of the best moments for after dark. Hundreds of glowing lanterns illuminated the shrine grounds, creating a peaceful atmosphere that felt worlds away from the busy streets just outside. It was quiet, beautiful, and one of those moments that reminds you why you travel in the first place.
I'm not drunk, but
Some calmness.
Who said anything about drunk?
because she said I'm on cloud 9.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for the interview.
How's Kyoto so far? How are you enjoying it? Any favorite things so far? Anything you don't like?
I like the pace. It's like a lot more chill than Tokyo. Tokyo is like go, 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 go. Here, people are still moving, but it's definitely not as fast and not as distracting because there's not as many things going on at the same time. So I like it. I like it. It's a nice a little bit of a slowdown from where we just came from.
As magical as that night was, the next stop was the place I had been anticipating since day one. At the base of Mount Inari sits one of Kyoto's most iconic landmarks, Fushimi Inari. This was one place I had been looking forward to from the moment I started planning the trip, not just for its history, but for the photos. The ladies quickly found their favorite spot near the entrance and got busy taking pictures. Meanwhile, we decided to press on because the real adventure was still ahead of us. Almost immediately, the famous vermilion torii gates began to appear, and then more and more. Fushimi Inari is home to roughly 10,000 gates, creating a seemingly endless tunnel that winds through the forested slopes of Mount Inari. Walking beneath them felt like stepping into another world. What makes these gates even more fascinating is that each one was donated by a business or individual. The names of the donors are inscribed on the back, and the larger the gate, the larger the donation. Even the smallest gate costs thousands of dollars, helping preserve this sacred place for future generations. As beautiful as it is, Fushimi Inari is more than a photo spot. For over 1300 years, people have come here to honor Inari, the Shinto deity associated with prosperity and business success. The shrine's striking vermilion color is also believed to ward off evil spirits. The further we climbed, the thinner the crowds became. Every now and then, we'd get a few precious moments with the path all to ourselves, something that feels almost impossible near the entrance. Those quiet stretches, surrounded by towering gates and the sounds of the forest, ended up being some of my favorite moments in Kyoto. We didn't make it all the way to the summit, but after more than an hour of hiking, exploring, and taking far too many photos, we finally turned back. And honestly, I don't think there's a place in Kyoto that I photographed more than Fushimi Inari. Every turn seemed to offer another shot worth stopping for. Little did I know the biggest photo shoot of the trip was still ahead of us. Before leaving Kyoto, there was one thing the ladies absolutely had to do: rent kimonos and have a photo shoot. We found a rental shop near the Yasaka Pagoda, and before I knew it, they had convinced me to join in. Nate, on the other hand, wasn't interested in becoming a samurai for the day. I figured I might never get another chance to do this, so why not? Choosing the outfits was easy. Getting ready was another story.
What do you think? Huh?
Anything, I like that one better.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too short. I was dressed and ready to go in just a few minutes while the ladies disappeared behind the curtain for what felt like an eternity. Between picking accessories, getting fitted, and having their hair styled, they were fully committed to the experience. When they finally emerged, it all made sense. They looked fantastic. Meanwhile, the ladies had me looking like Mr. Miyagi, which gave everyone a good laugh. Yes, introducing Roger Miyagi. And we got our boy Nate over here. Nate is like, nope, I'm not doing this. So I'm just here with the ladies. Roger Miyagi. Thank you. Thank you. The rental itself cost about $35, which included the kimono, accessories, and styling, but not the photo shoot. Even so, it felt like a great value for the experience. Once we stepped outside, the historic streets around Yasaka Pagoda became the perfect backdrop for photos. The traditional clothing paired beautifully with the old wooden buildings, making it feel like we have traveled back in time. What impressed us most was how easy and affordable the entire experience was. The shop had a huge selection of kimonos and yukatas, plenty of accessories, and a friendly staff that helped every step of the way. They even provided secure storage for our personal belongings while we were out exploring. In the end, it turned out to be one of the most fun and unexpected experiences we had in Kyoto. I'm glad they talked me into it, and if you ever find yourself here, I'd recommend giving it a try.
It was a great cultural experience, and after putting on all these layers, you understand that this is not coming off for just anybody.
The experience was lovely. Felt like royalty. Yes, there's a lot of fabric underneath here, layers and layers and layers. Very intricate, and it's quite artistic. I don't know who came up with this idea, but they have a lot of patience. We enjoyed it.
It was a great experience, really nice. A lot of layers. You gotta trust the process, but it was worth it.
You know of Bob Marley?
Of course.
You do?
Of course. Japanese knows Bob Marley.
You know a Bob Marley song?
Bob Marley song?
Yeah, song, Bob Marley.
Sorry.
Look, don't worry. Don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Yeah. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. You know that song? Before leaving Kyoto, there was one place left on my list. The one landmark I'd been looking forward to seeing more than any other. The Golden Pavilion. The moment Kinkaku came into view, it almost didn't look real. Covered in gold leaf and reflected in the still water below, it looked more like something from a painting than an actual building. Every angle seemed picture perfect. Getting that picture, however, was another story. Between the crowds and what felt like thousands of selfie sticks, finding a clear view required some patience. But once we got it, it was absolutely worth it. What really completes the experience is the surrounding garden. The meticulously maintained grounds are designed to be explored at a slow pace with winding path, carefully placed stones, and centuries-old pine trees framing the pavilion from different viewpoints. As beautiful as the Golden Pavilion is, the garden creates a sense of peace and balance that makes the entire setting feel so special. Yes, it's crowded. Yes, it's touristy. But some places earn their reputation. The Golden Pavilion is one of them. After a few days in Kyoto, I realized that my favorite memories weren't necessarily coming from the places I had circled on the map before arriving. They came from the unexpected moments, the hidden corners, and the experiences I knew nothing about beforehand. Kyoto ended up being one of those places that completely exceeded my expectations. The temples, bamboo forests, and famous landmarks were beautiful, but it was the little moments in between that I'll remember most. The quiet streets, the incredible food, and the feeling that history is still very much alive here. While Tokyo amazed me with its non-stop energy, Kyoto slowed things down and showed me a different side of Japan. But our journey wasn't over yet. Just a few days earlier, we stepped off the Shinkansen and into a city that felt completely different from Tokyo. Now it's time to board another train and continue the adventure. Next stop, Osaka.